What's going on, people? Welcome to the LV Live Show. I am LV Live. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Also, too, I want to thank all the new subscribers who have come by to my page. It is truly, truly appreciated, man. It truly is. And hey, man, look, happy MLK Day to you and yours. Celebrating a great man who really changed this country, right? But listen, let's get right into it. The Knicks lose a tough one today to the Charlotte Hornets, 97-87 in the early game at the Garden. Listen, man, all I'm going to say is Makai Bridges, I believe. That's Miles Bridges, excuse me. Let me just make sure I've got his name right. Right? And he scorched the Knicks, man. The Knicks couldn't do nothing with him. From the beginning of the game, he set the tone. 22 points in the first quarter. Nobody could check him. He's a big, athletic wing, 6'6", but he's strong up top. He finishes strong. He plays bigger than his size. He can finish off the bounce. If you get in the way in the lane, he can dunk it on you. Randall couldn't guard him. Nobody couldn't guard him. He was doing what he wanted. Finishing strong with the right hand. He's a complete ball player, man. He's really developing into one of the great young stars in this league. The game is starting to slow down for him. And the Knicks had no answer. And once Charlotte pretty much got ahead, the first half was big for them. I believe they were up by 18 in the first half. I think it was 62-44, I believe. After that, they just had to cruise, and that's what they did. The Knicks pretty much won the second half, but not by a lot, because Charlotte was pretty much keeping that distance. They were hitting big-time shots when they needed to. He had a big contribution from Haywood. He had 16. Of course, Rozier, who's a solid pro, had 22. They just had a total team effort. Charlotte today, and they played great defensively as well. RJ played okay. Randall played okay, but we didn't really get much from Fourier and from Burks. That hurt us tonight because, that's where, Charlotte pretty much had the edge. They had a couple of guys, like I said, who pretty much helped Bridges take them over the mountaintop to bring them to a victory. Big Mitch played okay. He had 10 points. We had Obi had 11. He was solid going to the basket and stuff like that. Looked athletic, of course, finishing at dunks. IQ had 12. Let me make sure I was right with IQ. I think IQ had 12. I'm a little concerned right now, guys, with IQ. He doesn't look as aggressive as he did in the first part of the season. I don't know if his confidence is rattled or what. That's why I can't wait for Rose to come back. When Rose comes back and Rose takes over that point guard responsibility, to me, that's where IQ is. Not to compare it, but IQ is more like an Iverson type of player. Even though he's a point guard, he's more of a scoring point guard, right? If you remember when Iverson was with the 76ers, he didn't play point guard. It was Eric Snow that played point guard. So Iverson would pretty much be on the wing and pretty much be like a scoring guard. She wasn't big enough to be a shooting guard because he wasn't 6'6" or 6'5". He was like 6'1", right? 6'2" maybe, but he was a scoring guard. So that's what IQ is. He's not really the type of guy to run the team, even though I think he's the good point guard of the future, because I think that's what most of these point guards are. He's more of a scoring guard. So I think, what's hurting his game is the fact that he has to run the team and stuff. He doesn't want to do that. He can do it on a limited basis, right? But really he's focused on, putting the ball in the basket. And I think that's kind of hurting his game a bit. So I can't wait for Rose to come back. But altogether, we just didn't have it tonight. Charlotte was legit. They played great defensively as well. And they knocked down shots when they needed to. We were missing a lot of shots. I know a lot of people can complain about the refs, but listen, you're going to have games like that sometimes. You are. Where, the refs may not be, giving you every call. But Charlotte was the aggressive team tonight. They were. They were getting all the loose balls. They were getting all the rebounds, like loose rebounds. They were finishing at the cup, and they were knocking down shots when they needed to. And that's the ball game, right? One thing I will say is that after watching Miles Bridges today, RJ and Randall, because they're lefties similar to Miles Bridges, they got to work on that right hand. Because what happens is with Miles Bridges, what he is that you don't know, because when he starts dribbling, right, because he can score on all three levels, right? He can score taking to the basket, he can score from jump shot, and he can hit that three, right? But the fourth level, like I call his New York City level, right? He can score off the bounce, right? So he can break a guy down, put it between his back, around his legs, all that stuff through his legs. You know, he can get you off the bounce, in and out, dribble, crossover, boom. He's taking it to the Baja, right? That's where his game is separate. And then when he gets to the rack, he can finish with either hand, right? So one thing about Randall and RJ is that you could tell that they're left hand dominant, right? Their right hand is not that strong. They got to get that right hand strong, because that's what Bridges, and on top of that, Bridges is athletic. So he could finish strong at the Baja. He could dunk it on you. He can, make circus shots. He could do it all. But, sometimes he goes to the hole strong with the left hand. He'll spin with the right, then finish with the right with the lay. He's an ambidextrous player. So he could do it all. And that makes it hard to guard him, right? And then once you're like that, man, once you realize no one can check you tonight, then the defense is at your mercy. You can do what you want all night. And that's what it was for him. And one thing I liked about him is he was out there. He was playing hard. He was playing hard. You saw Bridges. He was sweating. He wanted it tonight. And of course, another person got their season or career high at the Garden. 38 points for him. But that to me is what RJ Randall have. That's the next level that they have to go to, is getting that right hand strong. That's why I've stressed before that. I think that RJ needs to go and train like James Harden. He's got to get that handle better, right? You got to be able to kind of break a guy down. Because you can see sometimes when he tries to do it, he looks a little awkward. So he's got to get better with that. But all in all, man, that just was the ball game. Charlotte wanted it more tonight, and it showed. The Knicks kind of was a little lackadaisical tonight, you could tell. But I think honestly, it was just all came down to Bridges. Bridges just came out aggressive from the gate. Scoring 22 in the first quarter, and that was pretty much the ball game. And once they got up by 18 or 20, we just couldn't get back. But hey, look, man, we can get it back. Coming up, I believe our next game is, let me take a look. I don't want to lie to you guys. All right, team, let me see. Next week, who we got next, man? We have the Timberwolves next, right? So, hopefully we can get that win. We can pull that out. That's going to be this Wednesday. So we're going to get back on track. Listen, we pretty much won 10 out of the last 6. So we've looked strong. We have, you have games like this sometimes, guys, right? So now we just have to bounce back and get that win on Wednesday. Shake this little one off, all right? Hopefully they'll be woke, because I believe that game is going to be a night game, which they'll pretty much be able to get their sleep, eat their pasta and stuff like that, their energy in them, right? Eat those bananas and oranges. It'd be ready to go, right? All right, listen, guys, that's my show. I'm LV Live. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Also, too, guys, please hit that bell icon, right, to get notifications on all my new shows. All right? Also, too, leave comments as well so we can go back and forth and we can debate. All right, I'm LV Live, and I appreciate you guys coming by, and I'm out. Peace.